That's when stuff goes
But it's
left.
too late
That's
by
when
then.
you know if he wants you or not.
No, but how he set it up and what happens after the conversation, after that happens.
Oh, man.
And I'm talking about the instant.
All right, Anton, what about this?
He got a nut.
How many men get the bag and think those women really want him? Now let's be real.
A lot of dummies.
He should just as easily know he a duck, right? But in his mind, he'll start thinking they really want him.
But that
and then his ugly ass go. I don't know if she really like me or not. Nigga, you know she don't like you.
But Kev, it's different for guys because we won.
We just as delusional.
But
No,
we know we're not delusional because we
y'all
won.
men don't lose nothing compared
The
to
money and the sex are not synonymous. They're not.
No, I'm saying we're just as delusional.
Come back.
When guys pursue you for your beauty and women pursue us for our money, it's easy for both of us to believe that they actually want us.
Anton just said it, bro. It's a lot of dudes backed up.
I disagree 100%. It don't matter if you got money. It don't matter if you don't got money. If you hit, we win. Listen, we won. I don't give a fuck what
it ain't about. I get that.
I don't care what you think. When I'm done, I'm gone.
Look, Anton, I wouldn't call it a win whenever you can have a baby with a get an STD. We gotta stop looking at sex as a win too. I think men gotta stop that. It ain't a win, though. Okay, so listen, Anton, as a Christian brother, to stop playing as a Christian brother, if we got to be careful when we plant our seed,
Kevin,
how is sex a win, bro?
You're framing it in an ideal. Yes, we know that we need to do better. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what.
All right.
I'm talking about the reality. The minute that we won, it don't matter if it took 2 minutes or if it took 2 hours or if it took 20 days.
What's the girl's name? She just mentioned it.
After you got personal clarity, it don't matter what her name is.
Who got the baby with PJ? Who got the baby with PJ? She just mentioned her name.
I can't even remember her.
Yeah. Okay. Did he win? Anton, after he got it,
you're taking it out of context.
I can just show you many cases where men didn't win. That's all I'm saying.
I'm talking about the idea of how do we determine whether or not a woman knows that she's on the same level as another woman, because even if you don't qualify, if you hit it, you won. But for women, it's a completely different game. The problem for women is that they keep using men's standards to qualify themselves when it's not applicable.
That's a fact.
It don't even be fair.
That's a little bit what Jess did, just a little bit.
You can't use the same evaluation to. If we hit and we don't marry you, we won. If you get hit and you don't get the ring, you lose.
So if a woman say she got the bag and she got some money off a dude, I won. He hit, but I won because I
not really because money is not
crazy. Guys think about it. The guys think about it as, well, I'm paying you to leave. Guys are thinking that I'm paying you to leave. I'm not paying you to stay.
Well, I think Kevin's asking, what is it that you win? I think they need to hear what is
the men win the body. The men get the coochie.
Right. So we know that they win.
I get what Anton's saying now. To most men, their mentality is to get the He is right.
One at a time.
We gotta do one mic. What
does this win represent? I guess is what the people are trying to understand. I guess it's like, okay, I fucked you, haha. You lose something, but why is that the goal? Maybe.
I thought the initial question was, how does a woman decide what man?
Correct.
Yes, right. And I was gonna suggest.
So when it comes down to it, women are not supposed to be vetting. Like that's not you're not supposed to be vetting. When it comes down to what approaches you and what you desire, it's all about to the capacity that you can serve. So for instance, with my husband, women often think that they could do what I do. They could be in my position, but do you know how much it requires to be with that type of man? And if you can't conceptualize that, if you can't conceptualize how much it's going to take to be with this guy versus this guy, you're already not setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, and these women know that they be bottom of the night chicks, but and you can tell by like the questions.
What's the bottom of the night chick?
The bottom of the night is like it's like the 1 o'clock booty.
Last girl at the club, everybody left.
It's kind of like it's a speech that Scarlett Johansson would give to the Hulk. It's like the sun is getting real low, big guy.
You a Hail Mary, baby. Like you, listen, it's 1 o'clock. I gotta secure some pussy. Yeah, but you can tell that the women know because the questions that they ask after the sex is done.
You know, women are very intelligent.
Yeah, they are. Like,
hell no.
Like, can I spend
Can I just say this? I have an answer for you about how you know your worth as far as women goes. I believe the answer is in what you tolerate. I always tell my daughter, man, the way you know your worth is in what you tolerate. What you won't allow people to do to you, that's what tells you your worth. Okay. So you might think you deserve a person who treats you a certain way. If you allow somebody to treat you beneath your worth, that's exactly what you're going to get. So you got to stand up for who you are and how you want to be treated. And your value is not found in your beauty. Don't think because you got prettier, you deserve a better guy. It's always going to be in this person's character and how he treats you. So don't tolerate bullshit. Women who don't play games, men know that she's worth more.
How do
you know when a woman doesn't play games?
She don't play. She won't play games. Again, let's say take you for instance, right? I would think a man that walked up to you talking about some, hey, skeet. I would think you would walk right past his ass. You don't even look like you would go for that.
Depending on who it is.
A man would move a little bit differently because he would know instantly she ain't gonna go for that shit.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the more you do this, the more you will get.
If Chris Brown come down the street and say
all these, it's real simple.
That only works. That whole self-worth thing and how he treats you, that only works if somebody else didn't already dog you and donkey fuck you. Like, that's the thing. Like, you can't raise your standards as you get worse as a person and think that you get the same results. That only works for somebody that is maintained that.
Do that.
The word that we not having a conversation about is that most of these, and I'm saying, when I say most, I'm saying up in the upper 90th percentile, most of these women are spoiled goods. The qualifications for a wife used to be that you got to wear the white dress. And we are remixing it, and we taking these used goods. We basically taking refurbished MacBooks, like 2K, like to use a MacBook as an example. And we putting them back into the same package. And that's the thing. You can't tell me not to treat you how he taught you. When I seen you fuck Ray.
And I want to add on to what he's saying.
Ray hit it and Ray dirty. I know Ray dirty dick Ray. Come on, man. Don't come to me talking about
she can't have she can't reform her mind after.
That's crazy to me.
Crazy though. Look,
that's like a woman saying, "Nah, you tricked out on Phylicia. You might as well trick out on me too. You gave all your bread to Amber. You might as well give it to me too." That's like her saying anything, bro. You understand shit? That's crazy to me.
I don't get it. You get to defile somebody else's potential wife, but yours needs to be untouched. I think that's
correct, man. Look,
that's the bullshit I'm talking about.
Yes, as a matter of fact, yes.
Men want their women.
If all men said,
one mic, go ahead, Unique, and then Dylan.
Okay, if men were like, we're only marrying virgins, women will actually be pissed because men aren't doing that. Men are gonna marry hoes. A lot of men want to get with women just for the rest of their life. They can't do it. But if men really said that, what would be the comeback? It would be because men have had intercourse before, had sex before. Men supposed to be catching bodies.
Bro, since high school, we have always seen the guy that kissed the bust down. And you know what's so ironic about that is that women are so situationally aware that even when they was in high school, they knew to make the dude wait that they liked, or the dude wait that was simping out for her. But the dudes that they liked, they all ran a train on her.
Oh.
And so everybody else fucked her, and he was in love with her. And so she would make him wait, and she would kiss him and all that other type of stuff. And half of the dudes that hit didn't even really give a fuck about what her name was. And that's my point, is that you think that our standards align with what you think women think, and we don't give a fuck. Listen, if ours is ours, but then all the rest of them is for all of us. That's how men think in general. It's a group of women out there that's for everybody. She not yours, it's just your turn. But then wives are reserved and they set aside differently. So yes, you can fuck somebody else's chick or a chick that's gonna be somebody else's, but what his standard is completely different than how we view her. We may not view her the same way that her husband view her.
All right, everybody looks at it different for valuing women.
I think I look at it too. Like, who are these women you're going to make not a virgin, and how do you find your virgin? It's like there are going to be some men that don't have no virgins left because y'all had to get y'all rocks out to fuck these.
God bless you. This is called survival of the fittest.
But then you also said, Anton, not every woman is meant to be.
Men don't look for marriage as much as women either.
Listen, men understand that this is not a fair game. We are in competition with each other. And everything that we do, we are competitive.
But why do you still have the same expectation? I'm gonna fuck your bitch, haha, before you marry her. You can't marry that because I fucked her. You know, it's kind of like
We don't think like that. We don't say we gonna fuck your bitch. It's just
well, no. It's not that. Obviously, it's not that. But you don't know that this woman that you have your eyes on has already had sex.
Dalen, do you think all women now in our generation are really trying to be wives, or do you think they just really trying to be like sexy?
I don't do the things like
Let's be
all
honest.
a lot of because you can't all anything. You know, majority.
How many women do you think in our generation, just in your opinion, are really trying to be wives or just trying to be like sexy?
A lot of women.
I like to give a ratio, so I do it.
About it.
I do it this way. I say that for just visual, to every Claire Huxtable, there are 10 Ronnies from the Players Club behind her. So it does make it hard to find a quality woman. So I can recognize that, but it's a small number of most women want to get married, but most don't want to do or sacrifice or compromise what it takes to be a partner in an important institution like marriage.
It's just a change of mindset, though. I think we make it the gravity of it is just too much. It's just a change of mindset.
It used to be the standard. You were a virgin to get married. That's not the standard no more.
But then also, but it didn't apply to the men. Not that men should be virgins per se.
That's no problem. You keep on trying to.
No, wait a minute. Before you box me in, Anton,
I don't give a fuck about what you think.
That's not where I'm going with it. What I'm going with is like you have to leave these women untouched if they need to be available to be pure when they get married.
Why?
You really want to make sure these men are marrying virgins. They can't be virgins unless these men are having sex with them. It's like you want your wife
to be. She never wanted to be a wife. Why we gotta wait?
Hang on, Unique. She makes a great point. I would like to. I really want to hear how Anton answer this.
Wait a minute, let me say this. I do remember Anton saying some segments way back. He was like, Dalen, every woman ain't meant to be a wife. We're gonna have hoes. So what he was saying was you have your organization for hoes, and before you become a husband, it's like go over to this house, fuck you a couple hoes, and then the wives over here. So when you through fucking the hoes, then when you want to get married, here are the untouched coochies. And it's kind of like, well,
That's
what about
what I said, but okay, go ahead.
No, you did well, not so much of how I explained it, but you did say well, not every woman qualifies to be a wife. So it makes sense.
And then you added your own story in there, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it makes sense for a man to not be a virgin, but also require the woman that he wants to marry to be one. That's what
that is actually how I go.
What's the part that I need to answer? I'm trying to understand it.
So right here,
Anton don't qualify to be a wife. That is correct.
Right. So I thought she was going here. She mentioned how men will get out here and say, "Hey, smash as many women as you can," but of course we want a wife to be pure, right? But biblically,
I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that smash as many women.
The men do though. Maybe you know.
Okay, so but you don't think men should be sexually pure as you do women, right?
I don't think that the standards are the same.
I'm gonna give Kevin some
okay. So now, when it comes to women, right?
And let me preface it by saying this though. I'm trying to reserve the conversation because I know that we're going into a completely different subject. As going up the alley of what I really want to say, so I'm trying to reserve it. But go ahead. So in the Bible, right, when a man sleeps with a woman who is not betrothed, she's not promised to a man. Isn't he supposed to marry her and be bound to her for the rest of his days and never leave her because he slept with her, he humbled her? Biblically speaking, the person that you had sex with was your wife.
So now watch this now. If we're looking at the woman saying, okay, you had sex before, that man who had sex with her, he failed to honor his commitment, right?
Okay.
So these men running around sleeping with a bunch of women, failing to honor their commitments, isn't that just as much a red flag as a woman giving up sex early?
Correct. But the point is
I'm just saying our community look at it one way. We don't look at it. I think it's a win for a man, but it denigrates the woman.
Again, I think that Kev, let's look at it from this perspective. And I always use this example in order to help women to understand why it's important for them to preserve their coochie and why women control access to sex. I can get 99.9% of all men to stop having sex with a bunch of different women or impregnating women, but 0.1% of the population can impregnate all of them, which is one of the reasons why you can't have the same standards. You only need one wolf to fuck up the whole pack.
We're not talking about procreation.
It's important for us to not have this conversation.
I'm talking about the language that we're
getting. Hold on. It's important for us to not have this conversation in the scope of trying to compare men to women, because you can't. Majority of men are taking care of business. Majority of men do not have children out of wedlock. Majority of men are on top of things, especially black men, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. But the overwhelming majority of women, you will be hard pressed to go out here and find a woman past the age of 26 years old that do not have a baby daddy somewhere.
You're right. That's actually crazy.
So it's important for us to have this conversation and understanding exactly the culture that we exist in. Yes, we know that biblically speaking, this is what the right thing is, and that's the way that we're supposed to operate.
And I think we should speak to that. Period.
But you can't remix the pussy and put it back inside of the can.
Man,
it's already out there, right? And when men,
I look at it like this, man.
Men preserve themselves. We're talking about women that then come back and say, "Yo, I want a man to be able to take care of me and my kids." The reality is that if a guy has put himself in a position where he's successful and he doesn't have kids out of wedlock and he's taking care of business, why should we then say that, yo, we need to make sure that we pair these people to where he becomes a step crash dummy for a child that is not even his, even though it's a whole bunch of, it's a few guys that's populating the majority of the women.
I would never say that. I'm just simply saying, if you're raising sons and daughters, there should be a standard that's taught so you can create a beautiful world. You can't tell the boy to go out and try to get as much as you can.
We don't tell the boy that he should go out and get.
I mean, you can't tell him it's a win. Okay, let's just say if you're speaking to women about the importance of their body, right, and how it should be used to access a relationship, you should also be saying the same thing to a man, because you got to think. Where you may say it's most women who have children outside of marriage, not men. They probably have with the same guy, and that's probably why those numbers are that way. The fact is, it happens, and so I'm looking at our world, the world that we see. If now this ain't gonna happen, but if men stood up and said, "Yo, we're not sleeping with loose women," women would have to step up if they want to access the men.
No,
this ain't gonna happen. So this is why we say, women, hey, you have standards, because the man is going to, if he's gonna do it if you let him. But I think that's kind of lame. Think about this, man. We've been raised with a broken culture. We don't understand how men are supposed to operate. We're often taught that we're supposed to be out here getting women. That kind of speaks to who we are as men. Women don't know either. So to me, in this world, the way it is, if a woman has had sex before, a guy has had sex before, understanding how things are, they didn't get a fair shot. Why say a person can't grow? They can't change their standards. If you let this person do that to you, you can't now ask for more.
No. Listen. Hold on. Let's have this conversation. You can absolutely change what it is that your standards, but it doesn't mean that your market value is the same. The value of something is what somebody is willing to pay for it. So it doesn't matter.
That's why I said what you tolerate.
Wait. It doesn't matter.
How much you charge for it.
You're trying to have this conversation in a vacuum from the perspective of what should be based off of biblical standards. What I'm having this conversation off of is what it is based off of the truth. The fact of the matter is, I can go out here and fuck 100 chicks in 1 year. And guess what? Because the value of who I am is going to continue to raise based off of what the market value is, and because I'm rich as fuck, I can go and pick a wife tomorrow.
Anton.
Stop. On the flip side, you going out here and getting pregnant by 4 different dudes lowers your market value. And I can trade you in at 50 for 225s.
Regardless of what she's thinking.
There's a word for what you
do. The value of something is what you're willing to pay for it. So we can say this is the way it should be, right? And we know that if we just start going based off of the statistics, women are the ones that file for divorce the majority of the time. We know that there's always going to be a attempt to go and pick up the pieces to go and validate the mindset of a woman that thinks that she has another opportunity to do something. We know this. This is just the truth. So if we're trying to put men and women together and we're comparing it, the fact of the matter is, Kevin, you're more valuable because there's less of yous out there and it's a whole lot of thems. There's one you and you're going to continue to get more valuable. And it's a whole lot of them. So if we're just having a conversation just based off of capitalism, based off of market valuation, the older you come, the greater you become, the more valuable you are. The older that they become, they have a window of opportunity. And then they got to compete with the next girl that's coming right after them, that's younger, more spry, got a better attitude, and can cook.
No, I agree.
I thought
I agree through that lens though. But again, that's why the community looks the way it looks, because
don't get dragged into that, Kevin, because we weren't talking about that. We were talking about how can a man defend, because see, this is what he do. He throw different, it's a word for that. He throw different ideas together, and then you don't know which one you want to respond to. I want to learn how to do that. That is some, man, look, you got to be a genius to do that.
Man,
I thought we were talking about how can men have this expectation of women to reserve themselves, but you want them to participate in the same activities that it takes for them not to be held to that standard. It's like, I want you to be clean and that all white, but can you please come get my dick wet in this mud?
Do you want to be a wife?
Sacrifice.
Do you want to be a wife?
Say it again.
Do you want to be a wife?
I don't want to be a wife. I want to be in a marriage, a strong marriage.
Listen, that's a wife.
It's not just about me though, but yes, I do want
to.
Do you
want to? I'm not even speaking about you. I'm speaking about women. Do you want to be a wife?
Women want to be wives, yes.
Then you have to meet my expectations for a proposal.
I think men also have to meet not a woman.
I don't have to meet shit.
Yes, you do.
Not for the women, not for the men y'all want.
No. You have to meet the standard.
I don't have to do nothing.
What it means to be a leader, not because
I don't have to do nothing. Listen. There's plenty of women. There's plenty of women that's gonna want me to propose to them. It's not gonna be a whole lot of guys for these women that's getting proposals from the guys that they want. That's just the facts. I don't have to do shit. I control access to marriage. I control access to. That's it.
That's fact.
But I'm saying, in order to be in a successful marriage and be a good leader in your household,
successful marriage is gonna go according to what I say it's gonna do.
Well, if you're a man,
you know why? Because she still want to be a wife, and so in order for her to do that, she's gonna have to meet the expectations. Again, I can get another you. You can't get another me. You can't get another me. If you could have, you would have did it already.
I told you, you thought you were bigger than the program.
It's okay.
Right. Do you have a vendetta against me? What makes me think I'm above a program?
You a representation of other women too.
To the next topic. We're leading to the next topic.